Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. So it has finally happened. We are getting cross-faction instances. This is something I have been crying about for probably years to come, and now we are finally getting it. But let's go to the details and actually see what this means for us players in World of Warcraft. So they're starting with saying, for years now, many players have questioned whether the rules restricting communication and cooperation between Alliance and Horde need to be so absolute. The faction divide could keep close friends from playing together or cause players to feel that their faction leaves them with far fewer opportunities to pursue their favorite group concept. But these downsides have long been justified in order to preserve a central elemental of the Warcraft universe. It all began with the game titled Warcraft's Orcs and Humans, right? But to quote a one-time war chief of the Horde, time change. That's pretty good. I'm pleased to announce that we are working on adding the ability for Alliance and Horde players to form pre-made parties together for dungeon, raids and raided PvP. There have been 2 decades worth of code and content crafted with the assumption that parties can only have players of a single faction, and while we want to make sure this feature available as soon as possible, the extent of the change means that it couldn't be ready in time for the upcoming Eternity's End content update. Instead, we are planning to test and release it as part of subsequent 9.2.5 update. We are eager to hear your feedback about the details we're sharing today and on the details of our implementation when this feature becomes available to the public test realm following the release of Eternity's End. In the crafting of the rule set for this new year feature, we were guided by 2 goals. Focus on organized instance gameplay and make this an opt-in feature as much as possible. Dungeon, raid and raided PvP have been at the center of the most compelling argument for relaxing the faction divide. This content that by definition require primary group and those social barriers will have the greatest negative impact on people's ability to access these experiences on their preferred terms. In terms of in-world fiction and player preferences, there are decades of animosity to overcome. While we are excited to offer players the choice to reach across the faction divide and cooperate to overcome common foes, we know that there are many who will react variety to this change, and we don't want to override those preferences. This is about increasing options for players. I mean, if someone gets angry over this, it's their problem. It's like, I know the game is like, yeah, it's about to be, Horde versus Alliance, but still, the thing where like you go to work and suddenly you hear one of your coworkers talking about World of Warcraft, and he's like, yeah, I'm playing, and you're like, oh nice, should we play together? And he's like, yeah, I'm a Horde, and you're like, wait, I'm Alliance. Oh, never mind, then we can play together and have fun. Sad. This is basically what this is gonna change. This means you can now play with your friends who plays the wrong faction. Players will be able to directly invite members of the opposite faction to a party if you have a battle tag or real ID friendship, or if you're a member of a cross-faction WoW community. So that's why they actually created these cross-faction WoW communities, because I was like, that's kind of dumb. Okay. Premier groups in the group finder listings for Mythic Dungeon, Raid or Raid Arena Battleground will be open to applicants of both factions, though the group leader may choose to restrict the listing to same faction applicants if they so choose. Okay, that's cool. So if you really want to like find a faster group for your content, like dungeons, raids, whatever it should be, you can just say like multi-faction, and then you get possibly a faster queue. Damn. Guilds will remain. Yeah. Okay. Guilds will remain single faction, and random match-made activities like heroic dungeons, skirmishes, and random background will all remain same faction, both because there is a less faction-driven pressure around random groups, and to avoid compromising the opt-in nature of the future by randomly placing a queuing orc in a group with a night elf. I mean, that's sorry to say, but that's bullshit. Because right now, if you want to do Battleground as a Horde, you have to go over to that Alliance agent man and say, hey, I want to play for Alliance, because if I only play for Horde, I will have to wait 10 minutes in queue. But if I talk with you, agent, I have to wait 2 minutes in queue. And they could basically destroy that by mixing all the different factions together in random battlegrounds. So that's like, you could basically fix your own matchmaking system, but you don't want to. Okay. Once in a party together, members of the opposite faction will remain unfriendly, while in the outdoor world and fully hostile in war mode, as they do today, though they will be able to communicate through the party chat upon entering it. As they do today, though they will be able to communicate through the party chat. So okay, so even if you're in a party and you have faction, like, you know, war mode on outside, you can still kill each other. But upon entering a dungeon, raid, or raided PvP match, however, all members will be friendly and able to assist each other in combat, trade loot, earn shared achievements, and otherwise fully cooperate the same way members of the same faction always has been able to. A major goal in announcing this feature in advance is to make sure we are capturing all the expectation and requirement for this to be a smoothest experience. A group raiding doing Mythic Plus keys or chasing higher PvP rating should be able to operate seamlessly with the same faction or cross-faction group. This functionality will also apply to legacy instances and is available at all levels, though there will be several older instances that cross-faction parties cannot enter. At least for now. Battlefrost does a lot, Trial of the Crusader, Icecrown Citadel. Remember the gunship battle? Yeah, well, we know why, because the raid is basically different depending on which faction you play, so that makes sense. And a handful other than similarity have extensive faction-specific components that will have to be reworked to support cross-faction parties. There are likely those who have read this far. With some unease, worried that this is chipping away at a foundational principle of Warcraft. At BlizzCon in 2019, when an attendee asked about cross-faction play, we responded at the time, Alliance and Horde separation is a pillar of what makes World of Warcraft. But upon reflection, there's an oversimplification. Alliance and Horde identity is what fundamentally to Warcraft. And while at the time that identity has been one of the division, and upon conflict, we've seen Alliance and Horde finding common ground and working together ever since Warcraft 3. Notably including the last time as a Warcraft chapter was named Eternity Center. And the instances of cooperation in World of Warcraft itself are too numerous to count. We're hopeful that these changes will serve to actually strengthen faction identity by allowing more players to play the faction whose values, aesthetic, and character they find more compelling, rather than feeling forced to choose between their personal preferences and the ability to play with friends. Following the events of Battle for Azeroth, the Alliance and Horde are poised in an uneasy armistice. I hate all these fancy words they use. The factions still stand apart, and even some of their leaders cooperate in Shadowlands. Countless members of each faction will neither forgive nor forget the wartime actions of the other. For every Jaina, there is a Jen, and that seems unlikely to change anytime soon. But why shouldn't players be able to make that choice for themselves, especially in a corporate settings where the story revolves around coming together to overcome dirty dire threats? We look forward to hear your thoughts and feedback on this feature both now and once it arrives for testing. Okay, so if anyone from Blizzard is watching this video, I'm just gonna say it. Just enable this on random dungeons and random battlegrounds, because why not? Like, why not? Why would anyone be angry? Oh, I'm gonna do a random battleground. Oh my god, I'm in a group with an orc and I'm playing a human. I'm so angry now. Like, just do it. I mean, it's gonna fix your whole queuing system. So just do it. Like, because right now, I still don't see really. I mean, there's still so much you cannot do together. You cannot do random dungeons. You cannot do random heroic dungeons. You cannot do random battlegrounds. You cannot do skirmishes. Like, all all these low-level progression stuff you still can do. I mean, of course you can do like pre-made stuff like rated battleground, rated arena, mythic dungeons. So you can do all the hardcore stuff together, but all the like the easy stuff, which is some kind of fun to do together, you cannot do. Like, why? But yeah, if they hear my opinion, just enable for everything. Just open fully up and, you know, just have fun. But that's just my opinion. So everyone else, please let me know in the comments, what do you think? Because it's not only about what I think, it's also about what you think. So let me know in the comments below, just in the comments below, and let me know, what do you think about this? Like, do you think it's good, bad? Should they change something? Do you think what I think, like what I feel is the best? Let me know what you know. Let me know what you know. Let me know what you think in the description. Oh my god, I'm screwing up right now. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and well, I guess we will see each other in the next cross-faction World of Warcraft. And this also probably spoils that the next expansion is not going to be about Horde versus Alliance. It's probably going to be something about a big threat who's going to kill us all if we don't stand together. Something. But I like the way they said that even the factions, if they are at war, you as an individual should still be able to say, yeah, I know that my leaders hate the other leaders, but I like this guy over there, so why should I not be free to play with him? Because, you know, that's a really roleplay thing. Like, you can still choose, even your faction doesn't like that faction, you can still be the person of your own character to say, I don't care what my faction leaders say, I still want to play with this guy over here, or I want to fall in love with this guy or girl and play with them. You know what I mean? Like a hero movie or something like that. Thanks for watching, have a great evening, and let me know in the comment what you think about this. Bye.